God bless you. Welcome back to Talks with Tonette. Just hopping back on here. I had to delete the video before this one because part of it went silent. So thank you for letting me know. But where we had left off was how Eric and I broke up, how I was blessed with a beautiful home in a nice area while I was on Section 8, and how I was blessed that God allowed the administrators of San Francisco State University to see what I needed them to see so that I could get into the nursing program. So that starts me out when I started my career in NICU. NICU is a neonatal intensive care unit. And in that unit, I love kids, you guys. I feel I have a blessing on my life, a gift. Kids are drawn to me. People kind of trip out because they come to me. So let me give you a great example. I was in Bible study class, and there was this little girl and her mother at the front on the right of the room. I was in the left, maybe second row from the back. And when I looked up front and the little girl caught my eye, I'm like, uh-oh. And she started coming over to me. Little did I know, in front of me, to the right in my side of the room was her grandmother, and her grandmother was holding out her arms, and she bypassed her grandmother and came straight to me, and both of them looked at each other, looked at me, and they put their hands up. But I'm telling you, I have a gift. Even in grocery stores, kids just come to me if their parents have them out of the cart. So anyway, so I started in NICU. It's where my heart's desire was, and I was going through the preceptor program. It was a new grad program. There was a 4-month training, and in the last month of training, every week we would meet with the educator, the manager, myself, and my preceptor. And this one, like 3 weeks before I'm getting ready to be done, we go to meet with the manager and the educator. And she says, I don't know if this is a good fit. Antoinette doesn't focus. She talks too much. And I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? You know, of course I'm not verbalizing it. And she's going on, and I'm getting emotional, you guys. What I mean is I'm getting heated. And so then the manager turns to me and says, well, what do you have to say for yourself? And I said, I disagree. And I was getting ready to say more. She says, you have no room to disagree. This is your preceptor. Whatever she says, go. I suggest you pay attention, or maybe this department isn't for you. Well, you guys, you just don't know. In my head, I knew, zip it, figure it out, and figure out what this woman is talking about. I mean, up until the whole time I was there, up until this point, things were great. You know, I was learning a lot. I had caught things that she missed, but of course, I didn't have a chance to say anything. So the next day, the educator comes up to me, and I'm smiling because I cannot carry my emotions into my job, you guys. We have to learn not to react but respond, and this served me well. And she came up to me and she was like, goodness, Antoinette, you handle constructive criticism so well. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, please, lady, I'm getting ready to figure out what this woman is talking about and then expose her. Because I was already in the position I was at for already 15 years, not as a nurse, but as a medical assistant. So I knew some things. So I knew whatever this woman was complaining about, it was something she was going to, not about me. So sure enough, you guys, that day, one of the respiratory therapists came up and, you know, just put his arm around my shoulder. Hey, Antoinette, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. And she was like, she needs to pay attention. And I looked at her, and the way she reacted let me know that was the reason, was the guy that was showing me a little attention. And granted, I'm married at this point in my life. So I was like, okay, it's something about this guy. Then I found out from the other girls, I started asking questions. She was dating him. So of course she's going to be upset. Now, it's not my fault he put his arm on my shoulders. But so the next day, I wore my wedding ring to work. The reason I didn't wear it before is trying to put on gloves with a good size ring, they rip. And then you don't want to get poop or blood or vomit on your ring. So I started wearing my ring. And she was like, oh, You're married? Oh, yes, I am. You know, and I started talking about my husband like he was the best thing that hit earth. And then all of a sudden, things were better again. So I don't know why somebody would try and ruin somebody's career over a guy. I'm just saying, you know, that could have been my license, or I could have ended up somewhere else. But as the story goes on, yeah, it's getting a little late. We'll come back and we'll finish. But God bless you. Have an amazing day. If you guys want to chat about anything, hit me up here. Jesus loves you, and so do I.